Hi, I want to talk some more about using the Nibbler for rhythms. The Nibbler is a simple system that, combined with other simple systems, generates complexity. This complexity can be in the form of rhythms or melodic voltages. To reach this complexity, the gate inputs should be modulated. One thing to pair with it is a clock divider, which will keep the patterns changing in time with the clock, or another Nibbler in a feedback configuration. In this case, the clock divider should deal in gates, as opposed to triggers, so that the pulse will stay high for multiple clock cycles, as that is when data is added to the Nibbler's register. In this video, I am triggering the Weston AD110 drum brain with this Nibbler, and I'm running the drum brain through the DPW limit for a little distortion. I'm using a boundary as our master clock, a 4ms rotating clock divider to modulate the Nibbler, as well as a 3-body with a boundary for a very simple synth voice. Now to start, you can see that the Nibbler is connected to this drum brain, with the carry going to the kick input. We can trigger that by hitting the add 8 switch because there was already something, the register already had something in the add 8. If we clear it, the add 8 switch will no longer trigger that. It will trigger this symbol. Add 4 triggers a snare. Add 2 the hi-hat. And add 1 the closed hat. These switches directly trigger the sounds because we are in asynchronous mode. If we were in synchronous mode with no clock, then nothing's going to happen. All right, so still in asynchronous mode, we can do the same thing by using the clock divider and we could patch up a simple clock divider beat. This is directly coming from the RCD. And since there's no clock here and we're in asynchronous mode, we just basically have an adder. And the adder logic function is like an exclusive OR. So if we put this switch high, then it inverts whatever's coming in and then carries up to the next bit. So you can modify an incoming beat in this way. So let's remove all that and patch the clock to the Nibbler input. With just one switch up here, we will get this kind of basic disco-like beat. Now we will patch the first stepped output to the 3-body FM input, which is being directly triggered by the gate. So we can hear the gate and also hear this rising slope being created by the Nibbler. We could modify the Nibbler beat by changing the rate that the counter increments, or we could use our clock divider. We will patch the divide by 1 into the gate 1. So as long as we have it on asynchronous mode, then we get this sort of shuffling action from putting the clock into the gate 1 input. And if we hold reset, then we just hear that gate input. If we're in sync mode, holding reset will make sure nothing happens. All right. So let's use the gate 1 input in asynchronous mode and start moving the clock divider. There's divided by 2. Divide by 3. Divide by 4. Divide by 5. Divide by 6. And divide by 8. So now let's modulate the gate 1 input with the divide by 3. And if we hold the reset, we can choose what relationship the nibbler has to the divide by 3 rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now let's patch divide by 8 to gate 8. And divide by 6 to gate 4. And let's explore some of the nibbler switches. So that's incrementing by 3. Here's incrementing by 5. And here's incrementing by 6. We can also increment by 0 and have the sequence be entirely driven by the clock divider. This is not the same as having the clock unplugged. So this is what we're getting from the clock divider. But for each time a gate input is held high while a clock is received, then it adds to the counter. And here's what it sounds like in synchronous mode. So now let's get a second nibbler involved. So I'm just cross-patching the bits. I find that the more the bits are cross-patched, it's not super easy to predict what's going to happen, but it's usually something a bit interesting. You can get into rhythms that take some time to repeat. I guess we had this one in synchronous mode for a bit. Moving it to asynchronous mode while in these feedback patches means you will get these rolls or flams or whatever's happening, since they're both in asynchronous. I think if you put either one to sync, they will go away. I kind of like them though. Let's speed this all up a bit. Should we try and count this out? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... I think that's right. I think we're still in 4. Let's speed it up again. We've got some sort of alien generative electro happening, I think. Let's make it even faster. Too fast. Anyway, I wanted to show you some of the rhythms that can be made with a nibbler, a clock divider, and then another nibbler. We'll come back to this on another time. Notice that we didn't use the shift registers at all in this video.